What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the red color, playing as Zeus. His name is Eric. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Ra. His name is Domantas. Such an epic name. The map is Savannah. This is game number 1 of this best of 7 series for the Challengers League Finals. This is for all the marbles, ladies and gentlemen. The winner will be automatically pushed into the Champions League. The loser will have to go through the relegations, but a fun time nonetheless. And also there's a sweet prize pool for the winner as well. Well, there's a prize pool for the top 4, but you get what I mean. The winner gets the big money. The big money. You're in the money. Happy days. All right. So Domantas here playing as Ra is a bit of a surprise to me. I think this is the first time this entire tournament he has moved away from his Hades, and he's decided to play Ra here. I think he's a little bit scared of playing against the Eric Zeus on Savannah and deciding, you know what, I might give Ra a go and see how it goes. He gets a really, really nice gold mine here. Now, people might look at this and go, how is this a nice gold mine? It's forward. Well, basically, for Ra, if you get a gold mine with a forest and some towers, that's the best thing you can hope for. On the back, obviously, if you put the gold mine on the back, you can have the option of having that gold mine get wedged in with the actual back of the map, which can help as your like natural defense. But this is basically the same thing with the Savannah trees, and we also see some houses already coming up here for Domantas to defend it. But like I was saying, I was expecting to see a Zeus versus Hades matchup for the entirety of this series. So we're getting to see something a little bit different here in game number 1, which is always nice. Looks like Domantas is just testing the waters, trying something different. But the thing with playing against Eric, and Eric is one of those mono god players who these tournaments are much, much more suited towards. Mono god players wanting to play their god to the nth degree to try and find as much value or use as much of the knowledge of their god to try and find wins. You're not going to find a matchup which Eric is unaware of how to play. So what Domantas is effectively saying here, picking Ra, is that he knows how to play Ra versus Zeus. This is what he's saying by picking Ra, and we'll see exactly if that is an accurate statement or if he's going to be struggling in this one as he's eating up his rhino over here. Looks like he should have enough food in his main base. He's also got these chicken here. He's got the temple. He's got a decent town center on the back here. It's not going to be harassed too easily. He could go for the forward one if he advances quite fast here, but there's not really a great gold mine. I mean, there's a great gold mine here, and the hunt here as well is really, really nice, but I don't think that Domantas is going to be able to utilize this hunt or this gold mine with Eric going through Athena already, as the temple is getting empowered up, and Domantas will be heading into the next age for 45. He hasn't grabbed... Well, I told a lie. He does have 3 villages on wood, so he's getting himself pickaxe, and he is advancing quite late. So there's kind of two ideas basically with Ra. Idea number 1 is that you want to advance a little bit later. As we can see that Domantas here is gone for a slightly later advance time, with the idea that you can get yourself Shadoof, Husbandry, Plow, and have pickaxe, have all the gold, be able to farm straight away, have a really, really efficient classical age, right? That's the idea with Ra. With some people with Ra. I think this is a cheesy build and it can get countered really hard by a player who plays aggressively, especially on a map with 1,000 food starting. So we'll see what Eric is going to go for. At this moment, it looks like Eric is going for what looks to me to be either Hippocon or a delayed... well, he's got villages forward, so not Hippocon at all. He's going for double military academy, which with 4 villages on gold seems like quite a bit, but it kind of looked like that was the case. But we're going double military academy as Domantas here is about to be moving up to drop his town center. We'll see exactly what he's going to do. He's got all the resources he needs. He takes villages off of gold, moving up to the top side of the map. Now, against an Athena rush here, as Eric is pushing forward, the best way for Ra to play is actually to not farm, if it's at all possible. Now, grabbing this town center over here, not really going to be possible to not farm, as we do see the Pharaoh dropping the town center down. The units are going to be making their way over here. I imagine this is going to be an immediate bolt by Eric onto this Pharaoh to stop the town center from rushing up, and he might be able to completely put a stop to this, as the Katoskopos just says, no, not going up. And this is what I was talking about. This is why this later advance, this is a cheesy advance from Ra, is a very difficult thing to make work against very, very strong Greek players. However, what Domantas can do now is he can rush Heroic Age. Don't farm, he has to cancel the Shadoof from Plow. Get yourself the resources, rush Heroic Age, and then go straight into Chariot Arch, as we see a tower getting spewed up here with that Pharaoh empowering it and everything. The Pharaoh going to come over, get a little bit of damage done to the Minotaur, as the Pharaoh does now get bolted there. I like that he delayed that, because now the Pharaoh is dead for a minute and a bit, as the Odysseus comes forward, going to snipe down the Wadjet on the back. Looks like Domantas not paying attention there, but the Wadjet stays alive for just a little bit longer as the wall's getting broken down. We do see an attempt at a wall segment here. Does manage to get that one up, as the tower is going to come up as well. Eric still has himself restoration here, as the hoplites swarming onto this area. The priest at the back getting absolutely decimated there, as well as the tower is going to get torn down. The gold mine is being pushed off. There's another tower over here that needs to get taken out as well. Eric trying to get himself out some slingers and some axemen, but he's got nothing. Did I say Eric? Domantas getting himself out some slingers and some axemen, but he's got nothing left here in the tank. 130 resources, another barracks coming up. The units are spreading out onto the map. The only thing here that would make Eric's position even better at this moment would be having a Phoenix out to just ensure that he checks all the gold. As Eric's now moving over onto these giraffe on that position, Eric pulls back ever so slightly. He's got a very, very formidable force of hoplites and toxotes, and he might even be able to just walk in and kill that town center once his population creeps up a little bit more. Look at the differential in population, 39 to 64, as Domantas is going to attempt to sneak the gold mine over here, but Eric, he's too smart for that. He's already got the Katoskopos over here. The army of Eric can just move forward, break this watchtower, take those houses down if he so chooses. Or, again, he could just ignore it and just go after the town center and see what happens there, as the Katoskopos, it knows what's going on. The unit's moving over onto this position. There is a shifting sands available, as we're starting to see walls coming up already for Eric. As the hoplites are moving over, he's got to make sure he brings the entirety of his army, because it looks like he doesn't, because the army pulls back. The Toxotes are going to be able to push in and take this out. We do see the Pharaoh is on this position as well. As the hoplites come forward, a shifting sands here most likely going to be used to try and pick off a couple of those units here. Looks like Domantas is just pulling back for the time being. Does he have himself his upgrade? No upgrade for the skin of the rhino here, as the Pharaoh did end up getting sniped there. Nice play from Eric as the Minotaur goes down. The Wadjet there falls as well. As the wall gets broken down, the Hippocon is starting to come in onto the fight as well for Eric to help out. Restoration at this point would be incredibly powerful, as he does decide to utilize that one. He's going to push the Odysseus up to full HP and the Jason up to full HP. And that's the game, ladies and gentlemen, as Domantas has to tap out. I absolutely love that this is how this game ended up. Because this goes in to prove the point that you've really got to pick your battles with these sorts of greedy, raw openings. You've really got to pick your battles. And the thing is, right, this is why when I'm seeing Ra and I'm playing Ra and I'm like, I got to do this build, because you're playing around certain cheese strategies, not cheese strategies, but certain strategies that are very, very simple for a Greek player to play. Now, obviously, maybe not obviously, but there is a reason behind the madness of Domantas here. He says, I've got a good temple. I've got a good gold mine. I've got a good forest. I've got good towers. I can get this town center. I can play greedy. He makes that assumption here by going for this late build order, late in advance time, goes for that town center. He makes that assumption that he can because he's got such a good defense, but he's playing against Zeus, and Zeus says, no, you can't play greedy. Now, let's put this into perspective. Had Domantas gone for a 4:30 advance time, that town center would have been up. Then Domantas would have been able to attempt to rush towards the heroic age without building a single barracks unit. Eric would have had to take down this town center. There would have been a little bit of value here. Domantas could have shifting sands away from this town center into his home base, and he most likely would have been able to get to the heroic age on one town center, having lost this town center as well, but restoration or something being used, or even not. But he most likely would have been able to get to the heroic age, and most likely would have been able to start spamming chariot archers, and we probably would have had a very, very interesting game. But due to the greedy raw builds not working out, Eric claims game number 1 in decisive fashion. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.